Good morning, good people, knuckle draggers and warriors alike. It's your favorite resident, Marshall Meathead, Turtle Sage, here for another fun-filled episode of Combat Commentary. Watcha! And today we are here to discuss the events of this week in the fight world, and yeah, we are here to discuss a Clarissa Shields and the idea of trying out new things, crossing over, as they say. Yeah, Clarissa Shields is a black American female boxer, and in my opinion, probably the best to ever do it as far as women are concerned in the sport of boxing. It's a beautiful thing. Her hands are vicious. She's in there. She's a tigress. Maul her opponents. It's beautiful. Beautiful thing to watch. That said, she made her debut crossover into the world of mixed martial arts. Whole different ball game. There's always a thing, oh, well, she can box, but can she do what we do in the cage? Okay, fine. You know what, on that, I respect what everyone does. I have my own stories as far as that's concerned. I am primarily known as the Kung Fu guy, Tai Chi, Shaolin, Wu-Tang. But I've also had my experiences fighting people who do MMA and fighting people who box. My first experience actually boxing. I actually boxed a pro recently. Shout out to Brandon the Boss Martin. You've seen some of his fight footage on my channel. Local pro in the St. Louis County area. Very talented young man. Beautiful jab, crazy good head movement. I could not touch this guy. He's also 6 feet. What was it, like 6'2", heavyweight. Very fast. I had to get in close. And when I clinched up with him, my first instinct was to start doing ninjutsu, tai chi, take him off his feet, disrupt his structure, against the rules. And that's the part we were talking about. You're comparing, when comparing boxing to MMA, it's like apples to oranges. And there's a great interview by I would even call it a great interview. It wasn't even that good. Look, I'll be honest. It was our brother Zab Judah, very talented legend in the world of boxing. Well, the only man to ever make Floyd Mayweather Jr. touch the canvas. He didn't win, but he came close. And even he said, because we were talking, it was talking about, it was him and DJ Vlad, and I don't really care for DJ Vlad, but in that interview, he made a great point that, because they were talking about Mike Tyson, or not Mike Tyson, well, yeah, it was Mike Tyson and Michael Jai White squaring up, and when it comes to boxing rules, he said that Mike Tyson would make Michael Jai White go night-night. And the points he made, I couldn't disagree with. Mike Tyson is a seasoned veteran, a legend in the sport. Everybody knows who Iron Mike Tyson is. I watched him as a little boy bite off Evander Holyfield's ear and make hell for anybody who dared lace him up. I mean, it wasn't even so much of watching a fight with him. It was more like a horror movie. But Mike Tyson mastered the rules of that game. That's not to say Michael Jai White isn't a great martial artist. No, he's one of the people I look up to. As they say, my big brother. But even he said, as a boxer, when you change up the rules and you can go fight on the ground, you can grapple. Well, that's when all even street cats know they don't want to do that. As somebody who's actually fought guys in the street with work, yeah, once they go to the ground, I think the best description of it for those of you who don't understand how ground fighting works, I think it was Joe Rogan or one of the Gracies who said it's like you're drowning, and that's arguably the best description of it. And our sister, Clarissa Shields, had to damn near learn that the hard way. While she won, it was an ugly win. 3 rounds, she won by TKO. First 2 rounds, you saw what was readily apparent, what I saw even before the fight began. I knew this was going to happen. Because take it from somebody who knows, I think I've talked about this before. When I fought my buddy Samuel George Catanzaro III, check him out on St. Louis Underground every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. He's also a very talented mixed martial artist, and he's the one who really introduced me to ground fighting the hard way. First time we ground fought, I think, he's one of my top 5 greatest L's. I think in 2 minutes, he submitted me about 4 or 5 times, right? So, looking back at Clarissa Shields' fight, granted, she didn't have that rough a time with me, but it was damn near, because she fought Miss Brittany Elkins, who, let's be honest, has kind of a spotty record. That takes nothing away from her, though. It takes guts to get into the ring, whether on an amateur or pro, or especially a pro level. Brittany Elkins managed to take down Miss Clarissa Shields several times. She spammed the single leg or double leg takedown, and let's face it, Clarissa had no real defense against it. And I would say probably throughout the entire fight, I would say like 30 to 40 seconds of it was spent on their feet. And for the most part, look, I don't want to make accusations, but there were several times on the ground that Brittany Elkins could have either scored an armbar, a side choke. She had side control a lot of times, or just simply gone for a ground and pound. And she didn't. And I'm just thinking to myself, okay, you're a pro fighter and you've had fights before, and you're dealing with somebody who's not that good at grappling, whose structure was kind of non-existent, and you didn't go in for the kill immediately. I mean, I don't know. I get it. Clarissa Shields is famous, but nah. At that point, once that bell rings, she's meat. It's all business. She's prey. You're the predator, or at least that's how it should be. But yeah, and that's the thing you face when crossing over. If you have not developed that muscle memory and that muscle density to grind out situations like that, you're going to be in trouble. Look, Clarissa Shields, undisputed best female boxer of all time. That said, her opponents in the MMA world know this. They know who she is. And that's the thing. There are no secrets. We live in the information age. People have been watching other people fight in terms of their technique for as far as videotapes, at least I know since the Muhammad Ali era, so the 60s and 70s. So you aren't really bringing anything to the table that people can't figure out. So they just know, one, not to try and box you, right? unless your name is Amanda Nunes, hint, hint. That's neither here nor there. We're not dealing with what could be, we're dealing with what is. You must face the facts. If you have not trained your ground game, you are going to get swept. And yeah, many times she was in trouble. She won by the skin of her teeth. The third round, Brittany Elkins made a bit of a rookie mistake as far as she kept spamming the single leg takedown, and she made the mistake that a lot of people make. I've made this mistake myself. She gave away too much space. Because she gave away too much space when she was grappling, even a rookie like Clarissa managed to see through it and reverse it, and unfortunately for Brittany, score a TKO. But fortunately, I think even with an ugly win or an outright L that Brittany took, they can all learn from this. One, if I was Clarissa Shields, if you're serious about doing MMA, okay, let's say you train, I don't know what her training regimen is like, but if she trains 5, or let's say she trains 6 out of the 7 days a week, right? 4 of those days should be dedicated to grappling. Why do I say this? You're in that sport. If it's like going to the NBA, and yeah, you might win a dunking contest, but if you have no concept of teamwork, i.e. running plays, passing, dribbling, crossing people over, being dominant in terms of, defense, being able to rebound, being able to shoot free throws, then you're one-dimensional and people will figure you out. This is why someone like Michael Jordan is considered the GOAT. He's well-rounded. Yeah, he could win a dunking contest. And I remember watching him and Dominique Wilkins in the 90s go at it, and it was glorious. However, at that same time, he could shoot three-pointers with seconds to spare and win the championship against the Phoenix Suns. He could deal with the just savage defense of the Detroit Pistons, the bad boys of the NBA. He could deal with... He could play defense. He won Defensive Player of the Year. So, in terms of Clarissa, you've got to become more well-rounded. I'm not saying you've got to be like Josh Barnett or Brian Ortega or the Gracies when it comes to grappling, but you need to develop defense against that, because if a soup can like Brittany Elkins can take you off your feet and take you out of your element, then when you deal with more difficult opponents, it's going to be ugly. And I think, and what I like about you, you have the heart of a champion. You can power through this if you work hard, but it won't be easy. So I believe in you, and I hope that if you're watching, if people watching, don't take this as a criticism, but just as a learning experience. I had to learn this too. And I'm not even a pro fighter, but it's love of the game. You gotta be well-rounded. And I'm not saying your boxing isn't useful. It clearly is, because people want, every Brittany Elkins was not trying to square up with you and box with you. She's like, nah, we're not even gonna do that. But understand, that's a part of the game that you cannot neglect. And so with that said, I hope you all enjoyed my commentary. If you like what you saw, you know what to do. Ring that bell like Clarissa Shields has done to her opponents. And with that said, leave your comments. Like, share, subscribe. Turtle Sage signing out.